My name's Jo Cook. I am the convener of the MSc in Medical Anthropology at UCL. My own research looks at mental health, particularly at depression and anxiety, and I'm very interested in joy and what joy might contribute to the global health concerns about loneliness in a post-pandemic world. So what I'm going to do in this short presentation is tell you a little bit about the MSc in Medical Anthropology. I can also field questions about the MSc in Biosocial Medical Anthropology as well. And we can have questions after a little presentation from me. We also have the brilliant Toby on hand, who is fantastic and is able to answer all things logistical, which are sometimes a little bit beyond me. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see if this works. There we go.
Great.
Is that all okay, Anna?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. So the MSc in Medical Anthropology. Medical Anthropology in the Anthropology department is the smallest subsection of a big department. We are small, but we are perfectly formed. And I have an amazing team of colleagues with whom I work. So let's have a little think about what medical anthropology actually is. There's a few different ways of thinking about this, but in its bare bones, medical anthropology explores how health and well-being are socially and culturally shaped. And we think about the ways in which this informs experiences of illness, wellness, and healing, both on an individual level and also for the community. And for communities of people. But we also think about the ways in which culture informs health-seeking behaviors as well. So we're trying to think carefully about the construction of the body and the mind, and broad kind of quite philosophical questions about what it is to live well. But also the ways in which health and illness are related to wider structures of politics and economics, inequality, access to healthcare, and so on. One of the things that's very key in that, of course, is exploring how experiences and perceptions of the body or the self, individual or person, influence the illness or well-being experience. In my own research on depression, I explore the ways in which the category of depression and the category of mental health more broadly have been radically transformed in the last 10 years, I would say, 20 years probably. If you were being careful. So increasingly, we think of mental health as something that we all have. So a spectrum condition. People are more or less well at different points in their lives. And we also think of mental health as something that we can support through different kinds of practices, like, for example, mindfulness, regular exercise, diarying, CBT. What's very key about that, of course, is that that's a radically new way of thinking about mental health. It's only very recently that characterization of mental health has been prevalent. And of course, with recategorizations of health and illness come recategorizations about health-seeking behavior, the kinds of people for whom categories are relevant, and wider political and economic structures around that. So, for example, policy decisions around health. This is to show you how attractive the medical anthropology teaching staff are. We are a fantastic group of people. I'm very lucky to work with such terrific people, terrific colleagues. Here you see people who you will meet on the course. So Ben Epstein, Dalia Iskander, Susie Kilshaw, David Napier, Carrie Ryan, Rebecca Williams. If you're interested in the course, go and have a look at the staff profiles, do a bit of Googling around, figure out who your professors are going to be, so that you can get really geekily interested in the kinds of work that we do. To give you a bit of a run through of some of our research specialisms, my own work focuses on the use of meditation techniques or mindfulness to treat mental health in the UK and in Thailand. Susie Kilshaw works on contested illness and Gulf War syndrome. Carrie Ryan works on aging, care and play. Susie again on reproduction and reproductive loss. Ben works on disaster relief and mental health. Rebecca works on death and dying. Dahlia works on health inequalities and diabetes, and also on the use of visual media and methodology to combat malaria in the Philippines. So there's a really wide research specialism within the section. And what we try to do in the medical anthropology course is to both bring what's called a synoptic approach to medical anthropology. And what that means is we give you a really firm grounding in the breadth and character of medical anthropology. But we also bring in research-led teaching. And what that means is that you're going to be being taught by people who are research active, who are doing really exciting and engaged and interesting projects. And they will bring that into their teaching. And part of what our teaching is kind of lecture based. So you have somebody like me standing at the front talking for 2 hours and take lots of notes. But the other part of it is seminar based. So what we do in seminars is we have small groups in discussion. And so you really have a chance both to engage with your lecturers, but also to develop your ideas and your engagement with the discipline in dialogue with your cohort, with your colleagues. So it makes for a really exciting course. So as I've just described, the core seminar is focused on simultaneously on lectures and discussion-based work in term one. What we hope then is that by the end of term one, you will have a real grounding in medical anthropology. Your assessment will all be essay-based, and you'll also take a course in anthropological methods that's mandated for all MSc students in the department. In addition to that, every Thursday evening, we have a medical anthropology research seminar. And at this seminar, we invite guest speakers to come and present their work. If you're interested in this and you'd like to come already, you'd be very welcome to join us. The seminars are open to the public, and it will give you a taste of the kind of really productive atmosphere of medical anthropology. If you would like to come, please get in touch with me and I can send you all of the details of the seminar. They're really great events, and afterwards we often have a glass of wine together in the department and talk about the ideas that we've been discussing. Let me go back for a second. In addition to the term one core course, the term two core course is a balance. Rather than doing lectures, we have a balance between ethnographic reading and writing and methods that are specifically focused on medical anthropology. Now, this is because one of the key parts of the MSc is writing a dissertation. And what we want to do over the course of the 2 terms is give you the skills to be able to develop your own research agenda, devise your research project, do your fieldwork, and write a standalone or kind of unique piece of work, a dissertation, by the end of the academic year. Now, you're going to do that in consultation with your supervisor, your dissertation supervisor, who you meet on a one-to-one basis. But in addition, the term 2 core teaching is focused both on thinking about methods, the practical work of how anthropology is put together, and also on anthropological reading and writing. So we take a key text each week and we unpick it. So we think about how it's put together, how the anthropologist engages with theory, what kind of data they use, how they make a persuasive case. This is in order to enable you to begin to think about these skills for your own work. In addition to the core teaching over the 2 terms, you have the option of doing 3 optional modules. What this means is that you're able to customize the MSc and focus on things that you develop your intellectual interest in, things that you find particularly exciting. We encourage you to take optional modules within the MSc, so choosing medical anthropology option modules, but you do have the option of also taking option modules from outside of the MSc, either in the department or in other departments, if you can make a case for why it will contribute to your specific intellectual interest and educational goals. And then finally, the dissertation. So this is a big deal, the dissertation. I have to say, supervising dissertations is one of the most fulfilling parts of teaching. Year on year, our students produce beautiful, really beautiful independent scholarship in the dissertation. So the dissertation is worth 50% of the final mark. So it's a big deal. And it takes the form of a 15,000 word report. It's based on independent scholarship that can either be field work or primary research, or it can be a library-based project, and you develop that, as I said, with your with the guidance of a supervisor, but it is an opportunity to balance both directed learning and independent scholarship. It's pretty great. So just to give you an example of the kinds of optional modules that we have this academic year, these will change very slightly for the coming academic year, but not too much. So this academic year, within the section, the optional modules are the anthropology of religion, interestingly, biosocial anthropology, health and environment, aspects of applied medical anthropology, which thinks about the engagement between anthropology and the world beyond the academy, the anthropology of infectious diseases, nutrition, health and culture, and migration and health. So hopefully that gives you a sense of hopefully that gives you a sense, an overview of the structure of the MSc, the research specialisms of the people who you're going to be working with, and a little bit about kind of what you can expect in terms of the shape and the character of the degree. So I hope that's useful to you. I'm really looking forward to your questions. So please do put them either in the chat or put your hand up and ask me a question directly. Okay, thank you.